Welcome on into the stream, everyone. My name is Lucky Pollo, and I'm a lucky but odd duck. Today we are jumping right into our continuation of our last stream here. We are rigging a Chibi Live2D dragon. We were working on gluing stuff and setting up the art meshes, and then after that, we are going to be working on the warp deformers and rotation deformers. And then that way we can start setting up keyframes and get to the actual rigging part. Because, fun fact for those of you who are new here, Live2D is, how do you say, time consuming? So, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump right on in as soon as I find the screen. There we are. So, oh my word, I see the physics window is a little bit in the way, so I'm gonna just like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna hide it. Little magic trick here. Now you see it? Now you don't. Also too lazy to actually, change the transition. All right, so and go ahead and bring back up the music here. A fun little thing here is I move that down just a wee bit. I often like to listen to Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Great dude, and the music is effectively free to stream. No need to worry about, you know, paying and stuff. You know, if you have like a Spotify, you can just stream it. From what I understand, he makes a lot of his money from it just by having plays, which, you know, is really helpful. So, the playlist that I am listening to is in the description if you do like the music. So, if I remember right, let's get all of this expanded down here. Because we're still kind of going through stuff. Remember I got through here. Yeah, that's the glue. Okay, so these are the lines. And then there is the shadow, there's the color. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and this, hit the control key. Because now we can actually see both of them are selected. From here, we're gonna go up here into the manual editing for the meshes. Gonna go over here to the cursor, and we're gonna start pairing stuff together. Just like last time. Okay, let's see here. Maybe not this one, but like maybe this. Because basically you're just gonna be connecting dots. You just put them together, then you bind them. And kind of bring these in because they don't really have to be all the way out there. Combine those. Ah. I do find that while Live2D rigging does take a while, it is kind of just soothing. You know, it's just something nice about just getting to relax. Do just some really, I wouldn't say mind-numbing, but like mind-soothing work. Because it's not like boring per se. It's just, oh no. Well, both of them selected, please. It's just repetitive. So even though like you can know like how to do everything, you know, oh, I go over here for this thing. A lot of it is like feel over time. Kind of like art. you know, if you do art. And by feel, I don't mean like, oh, I'm just drawing from imagination, but more like feel like, oh, I know that this looks wrong. I know this looks right. Something doesn't quite work with this, but I think it might be like the angling, you know, things like that. You know, when you're looking at your work, you might not be able to place your finger on it. However, I do see a little bit of that edge, which I don't see it too bad over here. What I'm probably gonna do is kind of put that down for now, just kind of bring this out a little bit. Well, not quite like this. I need to make sure I'm just selecting this one. So another quick thing, you might notice like my cursor turns into a hand sometimes when I move it. For people who are new to Live2D, you can do that just by using the middle mouse button. If you have like a scroll wheel, that would be your middle mouse button. You would just use that. Just kind of stretching out the color mesh, because sometimes this weird thing happens. I don't know if it's just like me, or what, but I do see this right here, or actually it might even be that needs to clip to, well, maybe, yeah, that's got a clip. So we're gonna do the, up here, you'll see the ID. You're gonna copy that whenever you need to make a clipping layer. You copy this, and then you go to the piece that you want it to clip to. In this case, we got the scarf back color base here. Go to the clipping ID, and you just put it in right there. However, I think that might have been the wrong. So let's not. I thought I had the right one. No. Sorry. I got it backwards. My brain is mush because I didn't sleep for 2 days, and then I finally got to sleep last night. So it's actually reversed. You go the other way around. So now the shadow clips to the base. So you take the ID, right, from the thing that you're clipping to, and then you put the you put that in the clipping ID of the thing. So basically you could also just do this. However, it's also just helpful to know that you just take the art mesh ID, which you can customize, you can change it and stuff, but for the most part I usually don't. So I had to mute the mic because I had to clear my throat, because once again, I am still waking up. I am not a morning person. I am not a morning duck. So now that is clipping to that properly. There's a lot I'm gonna have to fix with like clipping layers and stuff, because we haven't done any of that. The real thing that I was trying to check though was, I see this peeking through. I'm gonna guess it's the main body base. But if it's this big, that means that it's actually this mesh right here that is the problem. Which, if that's the case, then I can literally just do this. And if I just move all of these up just slightly, it'll make sure that the mesh is underneath the lines. You don't always have to do this, but I find sometimes if I'm not careful enough, I can end up with those little gaps. In fact, this model has those little gaps, and I thought that I didn't, and I didn't notice it until the other day when I was doing a quick video. And I was like, oh, well, I have weird lines in me now. And just to actually show you, like, visibly what I mean specifically, because I'm sure you're dying to know, I will actually sacrifice myself here and show you exactly what I mean. So, let's see here. Let's not hide my feet. So I'm gonna come back over here real quick. Hi again. I find that this is probably gonna be a better screen to show this. But basically, let me just make myself smaller. You can't see right now because I'm moving it actually in OBS, so I could really zoom in. But actually, you know, come to think of it, I really could just move myself. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, we'll just do that. That's probably gonna be easier. Oh my ducking god, I am messing with things in not the best way. So let me fix this. So right here, you know, right in this area, you're gonna notice if I move too much, you might see like a little bit of a break, like right around my hips. And in that area, you might notice the line is a little bit weird. There's like a almost like transparent line there, and that's where my legs connect to my hips. And so that's not really ideal. Okay, let me make sure I'm positioned right. I can't quite see when I am in VTube Studio because I only have 2 monitors and I use one for my stream. This is almost where I want to be. Let me a little bit down. Okay, I think that's a lot closer to where I want to be. I think a little bit more over. Yeah, that's probably about right now. Okay, let's go back over to the Live2D. And let me put myself back where I go, because I realize I am out in the middle of the screen again. And like magic. I like doing these fun little effects. Let me actually move myself just a little bit more over. There we go. So if you're not careful, you end up with those little gaps. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. So we come in here and we just kind of move things up a little bit in the world. It's a weird thing that happens. I'm not sure why. I think it's the same reason that I like using like a base color underneath all of my art. Even if like it's not gonna be like fully colored or whatever. Like having like a gray base behind a character, for example, can make sure that even if I don't perfectly color it, there's no gaps in the line art to the color. And there's enough wiggle room with this line that I can move this a little bit and it's not really gonna affect too much. But yeah, occasionally I find I have to fix some of these meshes. And as I mentioned, it's not really the artist's fault because she also hasn't really done Live2D rigging, so she doesn't know to look for these issues. Even I still make these mistakes, so I can't even talk. Yeah, I think that's probably a lot better. So I can actually go back to gluing. I see that it's because it was on a different thing, so let's see here. It was the back that I was doing. So is this to the color base? And now that that's fixed, wait. Not quite fixed. Okay. Got a little gap right there. So I'm going to go back here and make sure that this is like all the way out to make sure we don't have any issues with that. This has got to go a little bit more over. I do like the layering on this, though. It's going to make for a really fluid movement. Man, my throat is so, like, clogged up this morning. I don't even know if that's the right word. I gotta do this. I can't see otherwise. Okay, so like, technically, I can't really, because, so I gotta go a little bit around here and up there. Okay, let's do a little bit out over here, a little bit over here. Not quite this, but, you know. A little bit up here, because I saw it was not quite right up here. And now if I do this, should look better. That's better. Almost perfect. Almost. Okay, so I'm going to select this, select the lines again. Okay, that's not quite what I wanted. So we're gonna come over here, we're gonna move this back in. Oh, over here it's a little bit too far out. I know that there is an easier way to do this, but I'm just... I believe it's that, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely easier. Hitting the solo button, guys. I knew there was an easier way to do this. I could not remember. And then I clicked that and I remembered. Because it's important that you can kind of go through and make sure that everything is actually connected. So just making sure all the edges are about right. Because we don't really want the gaps to come through later. I really should fix that on this model that I'm using. Because the leg thing is gonna bother me until I fix it. Also, I know that it's not, whenever I move to the left and right, it's not like a proper like stepping motion, and that's perfectly fine because this is not meant to do any serious animation. Although if I do legs later, I do plan to actually like properly do things. Okay, making sure no gaps. Okay. Ah, wrong thing. There we go. Give me just a moment. All right. Now that I got my bearings, so now we can actually glue things. So we'll come over here. And like before, we're just going to go through these lines at the edges and kind of connect them. Now, you don't have to connect every dot, mind you. However, it is helpful if you connect at least most of the ones that are like really close together. That way you prevent any weird stretching issues. Okay, what's this? I see like a... Okay, I see the issue. So when I moved this out, that kind of pushed that other part out. And this has got to kind of come in. Ooh, wrong one. Undo. I think maybe more like this. Yeah, I think that's probably more aligned because then it actually follows. See, that's the problem if you try to auto mesh, is you end up with really weird meshes too. So that does not help. I'll remove the solo real quick because I can come back over here. Or not, because I notice these are off. I'll kind of move these up a little bit. It's the perfectionism. Chat, I recommend toss out your perfectionism gene if you have one. They're very, very bad for you. At least they're bad for your time. Because they do make things take so much longer. Like here where I'm like, why isn't this working right? And then I come back out and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's because I didn't quite look close enough. That's also why I like to use a background, like a back color that is totally opposite of whatever is being done on screen. Like if you look at my art pieces, like when I'm doing the speed draws, which I actually need to upload some of those, you'll notice for example, if I'm working on a character that has more red, I might add more like of like an olive green is like the background until I finish the character, so that I can make sure that any of like the colors that are like seeping through are not like there's no gaps between the line art and the color, which is really important because, you know, in something like Live2D, you want it to be fluid, you want it to work. So we're gonna come over here, put these together. They go together. Bring this up. And kind of bring this down. Because they really don't need to be that high out because they don't move that much. I'm gonna put these together. Okay, gotta make sure though, just a quick heads up when you are doing these, try not to make the lines and the meshes overlap in a weird way because oftentimes that breaks the mesh. You end up with really weird things happening. So like, for example, I wouldn't put this down here. Because as you can see, it makes the ride go over itself. So when that happens, it kind of like folds the art, and that's no bueno. I don't know if it does that specifically with glue, but I still wouldn't chance it. Okay, that's being weird, so I'm doing this. I was not a fan of that. But yeah, it basically, you just kind of make sure your art meshes don't overlap. Giving them space to breathe is always good. I will say, once I do get a little bit quicker with my rigging, there are so many things I want to be doing. I want to make so many assets. Like, I follow several Live2D artists on Twitter, or X, as it's called now. I wonder how long it's going to be called X. I really wonder about Twitter because I have concerns. Twitter is a huge resource for artists, but it's just dying. It is an absolute dumpster fire. I normally don't like get political or anything like that, but I am not a fan of current Twitter. It is not working. I mean, it wasn't really working before, but it's really not working now. I had an experience. I was a dumb. This is story time with Lucky now. This is story time with Lucky because Lucky did a dumb, and so she wants to warn other people to not also do dumb things. So several months ago, I, as a part of my work, needed to get some footage from PUBG Mobile, right? So I decided, I was going to do a round of, Battle Royale. So I did that. And we basically need to get some like more exciting clips, if you will, to mess with. So first round didn't go so well. Second round went amazing. I literally did 10 eliminations, solo, got winner chicken dinner. And yeah, so I decided, because I don't normally do FPS stuff, right? Because I do Zelda, I do art, I do chaos, but FPSs are not usually my thing. So I decided, because I thought it was fun and still interesting, I took all of the clips and I compiled them together. I compiled them for our project just to make it easier to sift through. No commentary, no true editing, just hard cuts. And I decided to post it to Twitter because, I thought it would be fun. Now the problem was, Twitter's like, oh yeah, your video, it's too big to post. If you want to post one that's this big, you're gonna need Twitter Blue. So, as the fool I was, I went ahead and I did the $8, 8 smackaroos, 8 duck bucks for Twitter Blue. I got the Bluebird, right? So I upload it, everything's fantastic, everything is fine. And then my birthday rolls around. So about a week before my birthday, I made my schedule card, right? And as a part of that, I scheduled my birthday stream and I made it a pinned comment. Now, I had heard that it could take like a week, for your name to change if you changed it. So I thought, okay, we're like a week out. The worst that happens is I have to wait maybe 2 weeks to change it, right? Between like today and then maybe a week after my birthday at worst. Oh boy, was I wrong. So a week after my birthday, I still can't change it. So I literally canceled Twitter Blue thinking, okay, it's gonna be fine. I run out of Twitter Blue in like a day or so. No worries. It's gonna be good. And then chat. A week passes. Nothing. I still have literally the same thing. I messaged support. Support literally blows me off. I'm not even gonna exaggerate here. When I say literally, I do mean actually literally. They looked at my ticket, then sent, and they took like a week to look at it, by the way. They sent back a message saying, we don't see any issues. If you have any problems, you know, let us know. And I was like, but I literally showed you. I literally still cannot change my name. It has been like 3 weeks. So I literally had started counting on Twitter every single day, making a post, hoping maybe someone would see. And I even like tagged Elon Musk and everything, and nothing. I contacted them a second time, and they finally were like, are you still having the issue? And I was like, yeah, I'm still having the issue. And they were like, oh, it's been fixed. And I was like, you took literally about 29 days. I think it was 27 or 29 days total. And I had not had Twitter Blue for like 3 weeks at that point. So, my advice, do not get the Bluebird. That is my honest opinion. I don't recommend it. To me, it's not worth it. Okay, I think I about got all of the lines for this. Probably gonna need to just solo model the this one right here. So I still see like a tiny little gap. But that is exactly how you do it. You just kind of come in there and you just stretch it out a little. You're gonna be stretching the whole thing anyway. And it also shows you where the glue is, so you don't accidentally mess with it. Because if you mess with the glue, you mess with everything. Okay, I think I got about all of the edges. That is the actual main issue with okay, so that is an actual break. I want to make sure, because sometimes if the art mesh isn't right, it can mess with the actual art, and then you can't see it till you fix it. Okay, so now we're going to move down further, now that we got that set up. Also, before we do that, we're going to save. We always save our work on this channel. Also, by the way, you might notice on screen we have something called Stream Avatars. It is a fun little, like, mini game for the chat. If you see the little stars on screen, you just type !, jump, and it will make your little avatar jump to try to catch the stars. It's a really cool, fun thing. Although it's not jumping for me, I don't think. Today might just be one of those weird days. But I digress. Yeah. Oh, there it is. It finally jumped. And right there you can see, if you click that link in the chat, it will take you to the extension. You can actually pick out your own Zelda avatar. So now, I think we're gonna head on to the legs. So now we're gonna come over here, look down, down, down. This is the left leg, so we're gonna be over here. I love this, honestly. The little chonky legs. Zaire did a really good job on this. I cannot praise her art enough. So we are gonna do that and that. And we are gonna make sure, number one, that we got all the little weird parts fixed. Now that I remembered how to do that. Making sure that that is covered. In this case, I think the art mesh actually might even be just slightly outside. Which is actually kind of a good thing, because that gives it like almost like a little bit of a halo. Oh, that really was like way up there already. Huh. Okay, I think that art mesh looks right. So now we can kind of come through and we can start messing with stuff. And just for funsies, real quick. So now, blue. Now, I will note, if you do hop in on any of these streams, I am happy to answer questions you may have about Live2D or other like art stuff. So don't worry if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. I've been an artist for most of my life, although I didn't really do a whole lot with it probably until I wanted to get into VTubing. A fun fact about me, I shouldn't say this, but you know, there is, you know, there are a lot of like internet sleuths here, but I do actually have another channel on YouTube that I don't have access to anymore because I don't remember the credentials, but I actually used to make YouTube videos. But this was like back in like 2009. It was such a long time ago. I always kind of knew I wanted to do content on YouTube. I don't know how I knew. I just kind of knew. You know, when you're a kid, and your parents or your, you know, whoever raised you asks you, like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? A lot of kids will be like, they'll answer realistic things sometimes. They'll be like, oh, I want to be a teacher. I want to be, you know, a musician. I know I just said realistic and then I said a musician. You can be a musician and still make it. It's just hard to do. But a lot of people look at content for whatever reason and they say, yeah, that's not gonna be a good way to make money, so I'm just gonna not ever even consider that as a career path. Granted, I wouldn't say that this is my career path, but it is something I like to do for fun. I like helping people, so it really does make me happy if you do have any questions that you want me to answer. Because I do like finding solutions to issues and helping people. One of the things about me is I am an odd duck. Growing up, I struggled with socialization. I was a video gamer. I was a gamer girl. Hashtag pro gamer girl. No, I'm joking. But I digress. As a result, I kind of ended up leaning into things like art because it's a much better outlet for being able to express, especially when you have something like ADHD, because you would think, oh, ADHD, that just, you have trouble focusing and paying attention, having motivation to do things, and well, that's all true. That wasn't the real problem I had with ADHD growing up. I mean, I had issues with that, don't get me wrong. Like, I am not downplaying the fact that I really, really struggled with ADHD before I even ever knew or thought I might have ADHD. Because I literally just, I hardly ever went to the doctor. And so that combined with the fact I was a quiet girl, and most doctors and people in general look at things like ADHD or autism even as being like a boy thing. And if you're a girl and you have like any kind of like difference in your brain makeup and chemistry, you just kind of get written off because, oh, that's, you're spacey, or you don't apply yourself enough, all those things. And so you just try harder and harder and harder. And I couldn't always do that. So one of the things I learned to do was art, because at least with art I could communicate my ideas. And what really sucked was the fact that I have aphantasia, which is another fun thing. I don't have the ability to visualize. So you would think that would make it harder for someone who is a literal artist to be able to draw and do art. The reality, though, is actually very, very different. Okay, that's too close. I'm gonna pull that away, because we don't want the red to be over here, because that's the art mesh. We don't want to pull it back in by accident or make like a sharp edge, because no. But art, strangely enough, is not too difficult, even if you don't have the ability to visualize. The hard part, I think, is just the fact that you have to understand that you can't visualize if you do have aphantasia, and learn to do it the technical way, which is what I did. I mean, I didn't even know that I had an issue, because I never really thought of that as being an issue. I just thought people were talented. And the truth is, it's not talent. Talent's the wrong word for it. People use that word. And as they say in the Princess Bride, I do not think that word means what you think it means. Talent is something that is inherently natural by definition. And it really just kind of downplays the hard work that artists put into their work. I know it's even easier to do that now with the rise of the AI art, but ultimately, anyone can learn to draw. Oh, provided that you have the appendages to do so. I mean, I'm not gonna try to tell you that a fish is gonna learn how to draw, because a fish does not have any hands. They have fins, and they cannot be out of water, so they cannot draw. I mean, I guess they could probably like mold like a sand sculpture in the bottom of the pond or wherever they happen to be, but that's about the limits of that. But any person can learn to draw as long as they have the appendages to do so. I'm sure one day there will be technology that will let us draw with our brains, and that would be fantastic, but until then that's not happening. The closest we got is the AI art, and that is not okay. And for those of you wondering why, if you are someone who does believe in the AI art revolution, I'm gonna tell you a few things right now, and I'm not meaning them in any kind of bad way, and I'm not even gonna try to pull the angle that most artists go with, which is, you know, ethics of, you know, taking someone's copyrighted works, you know, that they made without paying them, without compensation, to train something to replace them. I'm not even gonna go into that. Although I did just bring it up, but I digress. The real problem here lies in what isn't said. What isn't said is the fact that with AI art, if companies are allowed to do this, I have to be clear on this. I'm also moving this out more so that when I pull this up, it doesn't accidentally like overlap with this. But when I was doing my research to make a video last year on the issues behind AI art, I found a lot of privacy issues. Like, we're talking these images getting scraped from like family blogs and stuff. You know, someone's kids are in the training sets, which is not okay. Not in my opinion. It is not okay to have someone else's children in your data training set without permission from the parents. And, you know, that's even then the parents would probably not even be informed because of the way that things work. But there's a lot of issues. I don't agree with the ethics, especially because there are so many options for people. If you are not an artist and you want to do something with art, for example, if you want to be a VTuber like me, right? And let's say you don't have the skills because you didn't train like I did. You didn't spend most of your childhood drawing and learning to draw because you didn't have a better way to communicate. You know, if that is the case, there are many alternatives. You can use Pit Crew. A lot of Pit Crews allow commercial use, so then you can literally make your own custom character. You now have a PNG tuber, fantastic! And you can use Vito2 to go and become the best reactive PNG tuber you have ever seen. And so you can do that. You can make a free Vroid model. Vroid is free to use. You just have to learn how to use it. You get a pre-made, like a preset, already rigged animated doll that you can build on and add more parts to it. Maybe you change the clothes. Maybe you add ears, like cat ears. Maybe you add a tail. Who knows? But the point here that I'm making sure everything is connected now, by the way. But the point I'm making here is the fact that there are many, I can't even emphasize enough, many options. You know, there's that. There's also free raffles. I know like a lot of free raffles get filled up, but I myself actually did one. It took me a while because I was still learning Live2D, but I managed it. And so when he comes back to streaming, because he is on break, he'll be able to use his brand new shiny Live2D model. I did the design, I did the animation, I did the rigging. So you can find artists who are doing raffles. That's also an option. For things like stream overlays, there are so many different assets that are free on Twitter. You just gotta look for it. Like literally people post stuff all the time. I even made my own free Valentine's Day set that I released this February. It's free on my Ko-Fi. I am not charging for it. I would actually like to do an entire like 12 like months of the year holiday kind of set. Like I think that would be cool. So that's an option. I'm not a morning duck. Okay, I think that's about right. So we can move on to the next one. Which is going to be the foot. Gonna make sure first that the art mesh for the color is there properly. There we go. All right, so then we can just literally do this. Another option for people who are, you know, struggling with the, you know, getting the assets if they wanted to be a VTuber. Another thing is Better TTV, Better Twitch TV. Literally, it's just they abbreviate it to BTT. And what that is it is an extension on Twitch and I think also on YouTube that allows you to upload your own like emotes there, or you can even use the ones that are globally available. Like, it ain't rocket science. You can add emotes even, you know, from day one. Granted, I don't have them set up here because I don't know how it works yet. I have to learn that first because you have to learn to walk before you can run. So I've been kind of easing into it because I am more familiar with streaming on Twitch. But I do plan to eventually get that set up over here. My goal is to be able to hit the like 500 subscriber mark so that I can do like memberships and stuff, so we have the emotes. And then I'll probably make the memberships like 99 cents or something because I don't really want to charge much for, you know, being able to use emotes. Like that's not my thing. Like, I've made a point, as much as I can on my Twitch especially, to try to make things as free as possible for people, because I believe people should have access to things, even if I'm not getting paid for it, which is why I'm here. I want to help people. I want to be able to say, hey, if you need help, you can ask me for help and I am happy to jump in and help. I have no issues. So yeah, Better Twitch TV for the like emotes. You can use like the pre-made ones, like, you know, the cat jam with the cat that, you know, bumps its head forward and like in a dance. Or like the Elmo with the fire, you know? And then when you talk about things like alerts, I mean, alerts are free, so you don't really have to do much with that. You just, you go to stream elements and you just You can use the default ones, but if you want to get fancy, you can go to like an artist, or you can go to Own TV. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. I am not sponsored. But I originally went there because I didn't know how overlays worked. I didn't understand any of that. So I just cut out that part of the equation, and I just got like it was like a $10 or $20 pack. And I actually still use part of that pack in my streams. I use the alert sound. So like, you don't need to use AI art in order to be able to do things. And also, another thing I want to point out is that if you do happen to use AI for trying to make a Live2D model, you will have a very bad time. I have seen how AI tries to cut, and let's be real, someone who is using AI for art is not going to learn how to cut. So you're going to end up with a really just janky, layered mess that no rigger who is worth their salt is going to fix for you, unless they're charging a decent amount for that, because that is just no. To make things worse is the fact that in that kind of scenario, you still have the problem of, currently in the United States at least, I don't know about the rest of the world, but I have to know about the United States because part of my actual job is understanding laws within the United States that have to do with things like media and also with money. I have to understand those things. Currently in the US, AI, if you use it, you do not have copyright for that art. Now, there is quite a bit of problem with this because, you know, naturally speaking, people have used it to do things like make characters that look very similar to very trademark copyrighted characters. And if that happens, technically speaking, there's no copyright to it, but the person still infringed on someone else's copyright to a point, but they didn't actually, because it was AI that did it. It gets messy. It's not something you really want to be having to deal with. I understand, you know, a lot of people are like, it's democratizing art. No, it's not. It is monopolizing it for corporations. And to make matters worse, if it did actually stick around to the point of, oh yeah, now artists, you know, have to still worry because the Copyright Office said, you know, oh yeah, AI has copyright now, which it, by the way, did not. For anyone who happens to scroll through, that's out of context. Do not. But if they did, that obviously would be a big problem. And so artists would have to protect themselves as best as they can, which they still should anyway. There are tools like Glaze. I also made a watermark I need to start using. Someone discovered that if you use like words or, you know, something like that and do it on a staggered, like random, like angle, and then also do a gradient on it, it can actually like somewhat trick the AI and it will have issues with actually processing it. I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I heard from someone in the community. It's possible also that AI might now be getting around that. I don't know. But can you imagine making your VTuber character? You've gone through all the hurdles just specifically to use AI instead of, you know, just taking the 5 minutes it takes to go and like enter a raffle or make a PNG tuber out of a pit crew. like, or even a V-Roy to, you know, use for content and stuff. Like, it's just, you're putting yourself at risk for no reason other than to use AI because it's easier. The problem is, someone could literally impersonate you, and I mean, maybe Elon Musk would do something about it, but another fun thing about Twitter, going back to the back to Twitter and the craziness over there. I think that's enough glue, possibly. I think that goes all the way around. Yeah, it does. Okay. Another fun thing about Twitter is the fact that if you try to report someone for impersonating you because they're using your name or they're using your images, etc., etc., Twitter will tell you that in order to verify your identity, they need to have a photo ID. And now that's when I go, oh, hey, Aircraft, welcome on in. Hope you're having a good day today. I am still waking up even though it's already 11. Like, it's just insane because if you try to report someone for impersonating you on Twitter, they literally send you an email saying, hey, we need... Okay, it's over here. I already did that part. Did I do... I don't think I did the foot. Yeah, I did not do the foot. But I'm a VTuber. I don't show my face. Why do you need my photo ID to confirm that I am who I am? Like, common sense here. You can clearly just look at the pages and see which one has been around much longer. So why do you need my photo ID to ban someone who is impersonating me? I think it's wild. And that is why I say Twitter is not... Twitter is just... It is a mess right now. It was always a mess, but it's more of a mess now. I actually went from getting new followers every now and then while making content to just not getting any new followers, really. It's awful. The discovery vanished, if there was any discovery to begin with. And now there's just so many other problems. I can't even report someone for impersonating me because he wants my driver's license for some weird reason. I could understand that for someone who might actually show their face, but not for a content creator who doesn't. Though there is a new social media platform called Blue Sky. It's supposedly like Twitter, but like not. But the thing about that platform is it's invite only right now. I think because it's so new, and they probably still need to work out bugs and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I don't have any high hopes that it's gonna last. Like Hive Social looked like a really strong one, but then they had a security problem and it kind of died after that, even though they fixed it as quickly as they could. I think I might move this more over here. There we go. Because then that's not gonna interfere too much with these, I don't think. I kind of move that up a little bit so it's not too close. And I'm gonna bind. And over here, I'm gonna kind of... trying to get things aligned in a way that's gonna work well. Because once this is done, it is done. And not going back. Unless it's a really serious issue. Because this is not exactly the easiest thing to do quickly. Here we go. Another glue point. Now you might be wondering why the glue. It's just to make sure that everything sticks exactly together the way I want it to. So that when it's like moving and turning and stuff, one part of it doesn't like move in a way that like reveals any weird gaps. Trying to figure out the best way to do this. Could do more like this. Ooh, no. Because then that makes that overlap. Because this, like this, where you see like these lines coming up over, that is a no-no. We don't do that. Because that causes issues. That folds the mesh in a way that it's not supposed to. Should be that one, or should it be like maybe more like this one, because that one's like a little bit more like along the fold. I also think in a moment here I am going to save, because we save our work here. Because if we don't, we end up facing the wrath of the art gods, who then say, no, you get to lose everything. And then it becomes that Thanos meme. Asking what it was worth, and if it was worth it. Was it worth it to not save? No, I don't think it was. I do really love, though, just how versatile Live2D is. I really cannot wait to get past this part and actually get to the rigging. Because the rigging is the really fun part, because then things start to move and then you can be excited. I'm also gonna bind that one. Okay, I think I want to say that is about it for that part. So I'm going to save one more time. Okay. Yeah. Save. Okay. So now, let me see here. We got the leg glue done. Now we can do... Did I do the arms? I'm not sure if I did. I did not do the arms. So we're gonna come back up here. We're gonna do the arms real quick. We got a lot to do here. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. I forgot about this part. I'm gonna take a drink of coffee. Because I need the caffeine. Oh, that's really sweet. So fun fact. I went to Walmart like about 2 weeks ago. And while I was there, I noticed, oh boy, I'm gonna come over here, I think, on this side. I saw some like really weird, like cold, like not cold brew, but like the kind of like bottles that look like the Starbucks Frappuccino bottles, right? But instead they were like weird flavors. Like there were 4 flavors, right? Where are the lines? Oh, there it is. I was being dumb. But anyway. The flavors, and you're not gonna believe this. The flavors were Twinkie, like Twinkies, Ding Dongs, like the food, Twix and Snickers. I want to tell you, we did a taste test on these, right? 10 out of 10, do not drink these. They're terrible. I say that as I am literally drinking the Twinkie one. The Twinkie one was the best one. I am not gonna lie. This is a little bit messy. Probably the art mesh being hidden in the canvas like messed with this, because I've done this. Usually you want your art meshes to be pretty clean. In this case, you can see some transparency here. But that's not too bad because there is another beneath it. If it is a problem though, you can actually go back into your art program and go to that specific layer, fix it without like renaming it or anything, and then you can re-import it into Live2D to replace the mesh. So it's not like the end of the world with it being weird like that. I can fix it, but that is one of the quirks of Live2D. Yeah, the Twinkies was the best one of them. The Ding Dongs is the Twix is just gross to me. And so is the Snickers. I mean, the Ding Dongs were kind of tolerable. It tasted kind of like a really bad chocolate, like, coffee. I don't recommend. Just stay away from it. Do not let your curiosity get the better of you, because you will regret it. Especially because they're like $3 or $4 for a bottle. But I literally just got one of each to try. Not a fan. Not a fan. Gonna bind these. Also, I've been thinking about possibly learning how to speedrun Twilight Princess before the end of this year. See if I could do it. Because I love playing Zelda games, and also Twilight Princess is underrated. And also, something I noticed is that the speedrun time for it is kind of long. It's sitting around like 3 hours and something, and like I wonder, like, so here's a little bit about this duck here, this odd duck. I break things, not intentionally, but things that should work tend to not work for me. And things that should not work tend to work. It's a really bizarre phenomenon. I mention this because I have had games where I have broken it in ways that you would never have expected. So I'm gonna confess something now. After stretching, but I'm gonna make a confession. I'm confessing my sins here. So, a little bit more than a year ago, I was playing a game called Infinity Kingdom, right? I want to say it was like last year, beginning of the year, that this happened. But I was playing Infinity Kingdom. Now, to give you a little bit of idea of how it works, so you can understand the context. In this game, you basically have a castle. It is like one of those castle builders that you see like advertised everywhere. It was a castle builder, right? And I had a really, you know, strong base, but it wasn't, you know, the strongest base. We definitely had whales in the alliance who spent a ton, like a lot. And so they had really strong accounts, right? Now during this event that we had called the Legion of Frostborn, I don't know how to best explain this, but basically, if you've ever played an MMO and you've had like PvP, right? Or you're playing against other players directly and you're in combat and stuff, right? Well, in Infinity Kingdom, when you attack someone, you can deplete their resources very quickly and you kill their troops, and eventually it will like automatically teleport them somewhere else so that you can't just farm them to death, which is a really great way to prevent player burnout, in my opinion, because it prevents excessive attacks. So you're not constantly trying to fight to just grow. So fantastic mechanic right there. I give Yuzu, which is the developer, a big thumbs up over here for that. There's this event, a Legion of Frostborn, where instead of being in your regular server, you can go to a completely new map, which you can pretty much leave at any time, mind you, except for like right after you get into the place, or if you just like attacked someone, or if you're in the middle of moving. Little things like that, you can't obviously go home because there's a cooldown, right? To prevent you from being too mobile so that you don't just wreck everyone before they can do anything about it. So, you know, you basically bounce between the two maps for events and stuff. But this event, Legion of Frostborn, it's basically you, like your alliance and your server versus other servers. So the whole point is basically to eventually get to the capital of this like shared server and hold it for a certain amount of time in order to be declared the winner. I wonder why this is being weird. Oh, I see, because it's the green. I'm dumb. So in Legion of Frostborn, you are not able to see outside of anywhere that your thermal towers are, because you are in a blizzard, because Legion of Frostborn. I mean, the name literally says winter. So you're in a constant blizzard. And so you can only see through the blizzard if you have thermal towers there, or if you were allied with another alliance or server. You'd be able to see anywhere that their thermal towers are. So this is important because part of Legion of Frostborn is being able to ambush. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, you see, because you can't see your enemies, it means you also can't attack them. In order to attack them, you have to get close enough to them, basically be up in their business, like next to their tile, or within a thermal zone that you actually share access to. So I accidentally figured out a way to break it, so I was able to see the entire map without a blizzard. So my confession is this. With my glitch that I figured out, they eventually patched it, mind you. but the glitch I figured out, I was basically just finding all of our enemies who were playing dirty with their own things going on, like pretending to be friendlies and then backstabbing us. So them playing dirty, I decided to play dirty, and I was just casually dropping coordinates in the chat so that our big whales could, you know, take them out. And the funniest thing is, people always made jokes that, like, it was an inside joke with all of the people who I played with that I was a developer, except for, you know, I obviously wasn't. And so I think that's almost about right for the meshes here. But we had this inside joke that I was a developer, and that's why I was able to do things that nobody else could. And then, so I mentioned this because people were commenting in chat like, wow, you found them really fast. Like, that's crazy. I was like, yeah, I'm a dev, remember? Except for obviously, you know, that's not the real reason. I just break things. I literally have no ability to just use things as they're intended. It is a problem. Oh no, that doesn't look right. Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna... I think something is up with that. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna hit just this one. I'm gonna do this right here. Oh, no. I just want this one. Sheesh. I don't like this, this is kind of messy. So I'm gonna fix this. Like, there's too much going on. Too many lines in the wrong places. This is why you try to fix things before you even, like, get started. It's just really easy to, like, have a really messy mesh, and then that just does not help life. You just want it to be simple. You don't need crazy. Like, I don't need 3 whole things there. It's just like, I don't need to have a line going through that. But I could do like this. And then that makes a little bit more sense. So yeah, I have a weird innate ability to just break everything. I've impressed our engineer, like our CTO, our tech lead basically, with just how easily I break things. It's not intentional, I swear. I break things. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Moving you out. I don't know what's going up with this one. I'm gonna just get rid of you. We don't really need that extra one. Might be because of glue, I'm not sure. I already had started to... Instead of doing the right thing, this is what happens. You pay for your crimes against Live2D. If you don't mesh things properly, manually half the time, you end up with broken. Will not cooperate. I'm doing this to kind of spread things out, get it more even, so we don't need to have super tight. We just need it to look good. So my theory is I could possibly, potentially, write Twilight Princess. I don't know how, but it's a thought. I accidentally break things all the time, which, speaking of which, I'm gonna save just to prevent any accidents from happening. Okay, that is odd. Probably because of glue. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's the glue, so I'm gonna fix this. I'm going to fix this, chat. Although I might have to redo some of this. Don't follow this example. It's also possible, let me see here, on just this one, I can do, like, what just happened there? This is so different. Because I just wanted to kind of hide that a little bit, but it might not like that. Just as a heads up, if you do anything with the meshes before you make keyforms, that is permanent. The program will remember. That is kind of why I like to move out some of the stuff to the side. So that needs to be... I may very well just remove the glue. Because I see some problems here. Yeah, that art mesh might need to be redone. Because that is causing problems. I mean, it might not, but... I'm gonna delete the glue for now, and then I'm gonna fix this, because that should not be... What? I'm not trying to do that one. I'm trying to do the lines. Okay. Well, actually, yeah. So we come back out here, that's fixed. Why are there so many for this? Let me just, I'm gonna fix this. This is why I say I have bird brain, because I'm so tired. I have to figure out how to beat this insomnia. think that looks better by a lot. I guess I could also do these. Ah! Okay. So, the lessons we have learned today. Make sure your art meshes are properly functioning. And not having weird issues. There is a possibility I might have to fix the arm here, but because what you can do is a process called updating. Basically, you would go up into your menus, and then when you do the open, it will ask you if you want to like add them as a new model, like the layers as a new model, or if you want to update existing layers and then insert the new ones, which, you know. But I am extremely out of it today, so I think I'm actually gonna probably wrap it up here. So a quick few announcements. Let me just pop over here. Give me just a sec. Okay. So, also I'm a little bit low, so let me fix that. Magic trick. Okay. So, quick few things. First of all, if you are not already, it would be amazing if y'all could join the Duck's Nest Discord. That is where I post all of my updates for things, as well as talk just generally with people in the community. I also like to share my art there, and I also put my schedule there, because my schedule is erratic, unfortunately, and all over the place. So, I do recommend joining the Duck's Nest Discord, especially if, you know, you do like fun art content or chaotic content. I do lots of chaotic content too. But anyway, I'll probably do another one of these next Saturday, possibly during the week. I'm not sure. I have to figure out my schedule for the next one, like the next week. And then also I'm gonna be doing crowd control on Monday on Twitch, which my socials, I think, I'm not sure if I put my socials here, but in my Nightbot, I can't remember. I don't even remember the command if I did. But yeah, I do have a Twitch. It is Lucky Ducky VT, like VTuber. Monday I will be on for crowd control, and then on Wednesday I'll probably do Majora's Mask, possibly Tuesday, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'll have to update my schedule. And then I think that's about it. So yeah, if you have any questions, always feel free to leave a comment if you are watching this after the stream. And with that, I do want to thank y'all for coming today. As you can see, my Twitter on screen is @LuckyPoyo. And you can always join the Duck's Nest Discord with that link right there. And I will see you guys on the next one.